Welcome to I Want to Work There, where we're sharing perspectives on how colleges and universities can take their reputations to the next level with strategies to boost their employer brand. And especially when it comes to talent attraction, talent experience, and talent retention. And what we're going to talk about is talent attraction, the impact of making the right hire. Joining me is someone who actually joined me on the very first episode of I Want to Work There, Craig Fisher. He knows talent strategy, including employer branding. Thanks a lot, Craig. Appreciate you for joining me.
Eddie, it is great to be back with you. Great to see you.
So, Craig, tell me a story about a time that you had a client or someone who made the right hire, and that hire made a positive impact on the employer's reputation.
Absolutely. So, I've got a pretty close to home story about this. A woman who I have mentored off and on for years. She's a good friend. Was a couple of years back leaving the position of a talent leader at J.C. Penney, and she was going to a larger organization, a very large organization, and there was going to be a search for her replacement. Well, at that time, the talent leader kind of role was turned over to a woman higher up in the organization who was head of HR and didn't have experience leading talent. So they asked me if I would come in and hold all the rubber bands together while we did a search for the new talent leader. And so I kind of ran recruiting operations at J.C. Penney for about 9 months while we found and hired the right candidate, who then came in and was able to do a remarkable job with the brand reputation and the hiring practices, carrying forward from what this other woman had done so very well. But her time was ending when J.C. Penney had sort of been just taken out of bankruptcy by a large shopping center company, and was rebranding. They were restructuring. Their social media sites had been zeroed out and blanked, and nothing happening for a couple of years while they'd been in this situation. And so they needed a fresh start. And it took a while, but they were very intentional about it. And we got the right leader, and things did turn around.
What would you say would be the biggest thing that made the difference in what this new leader came in and provided to the company?
So I think perspective. He had a good retail background, but more than that, he'd been in some turnaround situations, and that's sort of what was needed in this scenario. Not only having the fortitude to kind of power through that, but also have the right attitude to inspire the recruiting team, made a big difference in that situation. In the wake of this previous leader who was fantastic, leaving that void, and I, as a consultant, running talent operations and kind of keeping things together, and talent attraction during this time while searching for this leader and a couple of other searches that they wanted me to do for them. Um, was interesting, right? So we had to get their social channels back online, and we had to get their kind of employer brand kicked in again and build assets for them, and then we fortunately had a find of a leader who understood all that stuff very well and was able to come in and pick it up and run with it.
That's great because I heard, there were just five things in there that I picked up. In number one is that there was just this sense of alignment. Also, there was this sense of obviously experience, somebody who had been there and done that. But then also intentional about protecting the brand, and that the new person who came in seemed to be really intentional about that. And then I think probably something that gets overlooked a lot of times is being able to connect with the team, is something that I also heard while continuing the good work of the last person who sat in that seat. And so, Craig, thanks a bunch, because that's something that I think a lot of people need to be reminded of, especially when it comes to being an employer with a great reputation. So you can find out more about Craig in the show notes, and make sure you follow, like, and share this video and the I Want to Work There playlist. And we'll share more insights that will make your campus the place where people, especially great people, want to work. Thanks a lot, Craig.
Thanks, Eddie.